14 nations agree to sustainably manage their coastal waters. The UK government has launched an inquiry into the water quality of UK rivers. The UK has announced an end to support for overseas fossil fuel projects. Professor Patrick Prawn here with this week's environmental news. The National Geographic has reported that 14 nations have agreed to sustainably manage their coastal waters. These nations have responsibility for territorial waters which can extend up to 200 nautical miles from their shores. The UK's Environment Audit Committee has launched a formal inquiry into river quality following admission from the government that only 16% of English rivers met good ecological status. Sewage is estimated to account for 55% of the rivers that are failing to reach this status. At a virtual climate summit organised by the UK, UN and France, the UK announced an end to support for overseas fossil fuel projects. It has tabled a revised climate plan to the summit, showing a new target of a further 68% reduction in carbon emissions by 2030. In these difficult times, it is important to remember that the weather, the seas and oceans, the woodland, the rainforest, and all the birds are still living as they were before the COVID-19 virus hit the land of humans. It is therefore important that we still remember what has to be done to protect the planet and all who live on it. Our roving reporter, Big Tic, has been talking to our experts here on Prime8 Island and will present his special report on the 8 key environmental areas. Hello, Tic. Are you there?
Yes, I'm here, Professor.
I hope you're ready to inform everyone about the discussions you've been having with the Prime8 Gang here in Primasia.
Oh yes, Professor. They also told me that you've been talking to Eddie Lizard about the refurbished gym.
Well now, I did have a rather progressive discussion with him, yes. Now, can we get on with the job in hand?
Yes, Professor. Of course. Sorry. Amanda Panda tells me that whilst there have been significant improvements in recycling rates in the land of humans, the best country, Germany, still only recycles 65% of its waste. Professor, is Eddie coming over to Prime8 Island soon?
Tic, please get on with your report.
Even a country like Japan, that is always looking to create new technologies, only recycles some 19% of its waste. Our litter and packaging expert, Rhino, is astounded by the amount of litter that is left around by humans. Litter and recycling go hand in hand, and Rhino is constantly urging everybody to put their litter in the correct bins so that it is all disposed of properly. Professor?
Yes, Tic.
If Eddie does come over to Prime8 Island, can I come back to see him?
Tic, you have a job to do over there in the land of humans, so get on with it.
Sam Snake was really disappointed when the world's largest economy, the United States of America, pulled out of the Global Paris Agreement, which was established to attack the growing pollution issues faced in the land of humans. Professor, I've worked all over the Christmas period and I'd really like to meet Eddie.
Tic, my good fellow, this is not the right time to be discussing this. Now, tell us what's happening with the rainforest.
Little Gorilla carries the flag for protecting the world's rainforest and the wildlife that lives in it. The destruction of over 11,000 square kilometres of rainforest in 2020 has not only scarred the landscape but destroyed the natural habitat for many creatures. Professor, I've been watching the World's Strongest Man competition over here whilst aboard the Tres Hombres moored in Cornwall. Do you think Eddie Lizard will ever be as strong?
Tic, I've warned you a few times now.
I'm sorry, Professor. It's just that I've always wanted to get Eddie Lizard's autograph. Right. Working closely with Little Gorilla is Tiny Tiger, whose drive is to conserve everything we have and to promote biodiversity. It is biodiversity that has enabled the planet to develop into the magnificent entity that it is today. In episode 7 of last year's Environmental News, Caterpillar explained how staying healthy, exercising and eating well has a positive impact on our environment. Oh, do you remember how Caterpillar trod in the paint? Fancy seeing 6 sets of painted footprints all over the floor.
Tic, I've already had to speed you up once.
Yes, Professor. The world's resources are very special. Hugie Hippo is our expert in probably the most precious resource, water. If we don't reduce our water usage, we may run out. Hugie stars in Little Gorilla's book, Don't Let It Drip, That's the Tip, where we're told how we must all turn our taps off and fix them if they're leaking.
I know you haven't quite finished, Tic, but I think I might have to turn your tap off if you don't hurry up.
Sorry, Professor. Right. While we're talking about water, I thought I'd pass on what Wonder Whale told me the other day. Despite what is being written in journals regarding the reduction of single-use plastics, it is still estimated that plastic waste flowing into the oceans is expected to nearly triple in volume in the next 20 years. I think that's it, Professor.
Very good, Tic. Thank you for that overview. The Prime8 Gang want me to ask you to be vigilant and always be aware of what's around you. If you want to know any more about their areas of expertise, you can go to the Prime8 website provided at the end of the news, and perhaps buy one of their books, or follow Prime8 on the other social media platforms such as Twitter and Facebook. You can also see how they helped in the land of humans before they came to Primasia by playing the Primasia The Prologue, available on Google Play and the App Store. I am delighted to tell you that this is free of charge. Time now for our word of the week. Revitalization, the action of imbuing something with new life or vitality. Let's look forward to a bright new beginning in 2021. So, from all of us in Primasia and the land of humans, we wish you a happy new year. You have been watching me, Professor Patrick Prawn, with this week's Environmental News. Now then, I must finish this prologue. And then I'm going to read Caterpillar's book about fitness and fun at a family fun run. Sounds most exhilarating.